Hello, my bookish friends, and welcome back to, or welcome to, for first-time viewers, All Books Book Reviews and our summer of sequels. Today, we are in for quite the adventure because we are going to be looking at Chaste by M. Liz Boyle. This is the second book in the Off the Itinerary series. We already looked at Avalanche. The link is up in the corner if you want to check that out. And book 3 is Ablaze. In the Avalanche review, I had mentioned that I went ahead and got Chaste, and I was so excited to read it. It's actually been about 7 months since then, and I am proud to say I have completed the series, and I fully intend to cover all 3 books on this channel. Chaste was published June of 2020. It has 171 pages, 19 chapters, which I am including the epilogue in that, 9 pages per chapter, give or take, and the reading time anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on your reading speed, and this is a Christian fiction and adventure story. Marley and her sisters are glad to be hiking again with the Miles boys. Their group of 5 is strong and cohesive as they explore the rugged mountains of Montana. When they first meet Thad, a dehydrated hiker on the trail, they offer first aid to help him recover. Thad seems harmless until he tells him to hike a few extra miles at sunset. When Liddy finds a hand-drawn map that Thad dropped, the group realizes that he is a modern-day treasure hunter, and he decides that they're after his treasure. As they rush to flee from Thad, they make split-second decisions and find themselves in a unique set of dangers. They climb up unforgiving ridges, sneak through the night to avoid him, and experience a threatening thunderstorm. To make matters worse, Marley becomes distracted when a nagging worry that Ellie might move away from home. What is God's plan for the Miles boys and Stanley girls? How will they get away from Thad before it's too late? From the sequel side of things, this was amazing. I really loved getting to return to this world and hang out with the characters. I would have been really sad if it had ended at Avalanche. We definitely needed more. I'll go ahead and point this out. This is not a standalone. It is highly recommended by me, and I'm sure several other readers, that you do need to read Avalanche first. Okay, so the first thing I want to cover is the adventure essence of the story. You have the on the run from the treasure hunter. It was very exciting. You have some element survival issues, not like Avalanche was, where it was more sort of in your face, from the get-go. This one was more like a steady build-up, and when I was reading, I was like, okay, when's it going to happen? And then it happened, and it was pretty intense, but very intriguing and most enjoyable. And along with the adventure, there are plenty of survival tips, tricks, and takeaways. One of the things that I found really interesting, there's a huge difference between grizzly bear and a black bear. One of them, if you come face to face, you want to play dead, and the other, you want to make yourself as big as possible to, intimidate it, and it'll supposedly go away. Should not confuse the two, but that was really cool. I did learn something, and that's fun. The characters, again, were fantastic, and there was a very noticeable growth and maturity of the characters. The Christian themes were marvelous. My favorite was this analogy about staying grounded and not being swept off in the flood of the world and all its temptations and offers, and that was just a really good point that I felt was driven home nicely. My dislikes are pretty few, and preferences. The treasure idea was great, and Thad was a really good villain. However, I wanted to see more close calls and everything. There wasn't enough of that for me. No spoilers, but I needed to know more about the treasure. The ending was not bad. I think all the questions were answered actually, and all the loose ends were tied up, so that was great. However, at the end, after the thrill of the adventure and everything, it really slowed down. The pacing did. It kind of fizzled out, which understandably so, because it's the end. It's supposed to, slow down. But for me, I was still running high on all that excitement. I'm going to give Chaste 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed this immensely. I love adventure books, Treasure Island being one of my top favorites. I've tried to find adventure books like modern ones to read. They either throw a lot of romance in there or there's tons of language, but this is just great. It's good, clean, wholesome adventure, God-honoring fiction, by the way. And it's just a good time, And I love the family dynamics, the siblings, how they work together, and they just, they're there for each other, I love that. Very encouraging. I mentioned this in my written review, and I feel it's important to add here too. I like Avalanche better for its action and I like Chase more for its character growth and sibling relationships. So both are extremely good. I couldn't decide which was my favorite, but now that I've read the series, I will go ahead and say that Chase is my favorite. I recommend you do not pass this one up. It was very good. If you like Christian fiction, if you like adventure and suspense, if you are an outdoorsy person, if you like hiking and nature and trails, this is also a perfect read for the summer. This is on Goodreads if you want to add it to your to-read list, and it is available on almost all major retailers. I have the links down in the description. And just a fun side note, you can find discussion guides for each book on the author's website. Alright, and that will conclude this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all again August 18th, and we'll be looking at The Lost Sepulchre, and I have the link for book 1 of that series up in the corner if you want to go ahead, check it out, get ahead for August. And that'll be our last of our Summer of Sequel series, which I am so glad that I did this because it gave me the chance to kind of make myself go back and work on the series. I love that. Until next time, happy reading!